I'm going to play with these. This is so bad.
Stop. They're not, like, for your pleasure.
Should we just make one up really quick?
Yeah, with the words, with the letters you have to make something up.
Oh. This is why we procrastinate when we do things. All right. This is all I can get.
Room. And I got
Hello, my people. It's Dahlia.
and Nicole.
And this is Quiche My Ass. Wow, wow, wow. Welcome to our first
We gotta start.
Thank you for listening to our first ever episode of Quiche My Ass.
Yeah, I hope you guys are all excited. I know we've been sharing a little content. We've been talking a lot about it with our friends.
We are influencers now.
Hardly. That's like the last thing I would ever want to be as an influencer.
I know. We didn't start our own fashion brand, but soon enough, guys. Soon enough. Well, do you know where
Cheers.
I was this morning?
No, I don't.
You do.
Well, then why are you asking me?
Well, I'm just asking you because, like, I think people are wondering where the name Quiche My Ass started from. And I was there today. And I was working, just doing some temp work here and there because that's what I've been doing. But anyway, we're not going into that right now. And I thought I was going into an event where Quiche My Ass started. I'm not even joking.
Oh, you thought it was that
I
event.
thought it was that event because the last names were so familiar.
But
And
it
it's
wasn't.
so crazy. It wasn't. Thank God. I walk into the kitchen and I'm like, thank God it's not this event. And the reason why it's not, I'm glad it wasn't the event that I'm talking about, was there was one day where no one was on my side and I was working like a dog and everyone I seemed like was just at it at Dahlia. Like, I hate Dahlia today. I'm just going to snap at Dahlia. I think everyone was just exhausted. It was definitely the busy season.
It's first thing in the morning. You got there before everyone for
like
a morning event.
Yeah, and I was just mad. And then, of course, I was mad because I was still in charge of the one thing I didn't want to do, and it was quiches. I really was not in the mood to do quiches. And I just remember one of our managers passed by, and he goes, "Ça va, Dahlia?" And I literally look up at him, and I say, "Quiche my ass." And I meant it. For some reason, everyone thought it was the funniest thing ever. And I'm like, that wasn't funny. That wasn't funny. It wasn't
Yeah, and
funny.
you were like, I'm going to leave. It wasn't funny. And we all just loved it.
And, like, mind you guys, me and Nicole don't like quiches. Like, we talked about this before.
No, I think a quiche is probably the last thing on a menu I'm
gross.
ordering unless, I mean, my grandmother, she likes to make quiche.
Are
and
you your grandmother?
That's when I'll eat it. But if I'm at a restaurant,
No.
it's not it.
No, I feel like it's too wet for me. It's not for me.
No? I mean, there's some good ones, but...
No, baked eggs? No, I'm good. I'm so good. But you guys also must be wondering, what the hell is this podcast about? Like, is it just going to be these two girls bantering on about how awful their lives are, even though it's amazing? Hair flip.
Well, obviously everyone's wondering what the podcast is, and we want to showcase to our listeners and to our fans, whatever, they're not fans yet because this is our first one.
We got fans.
But we really want to show people how big our industry is, how big the restaurant industry is, and not just what you see on TV where you see a executive chef on the line and
Glamorous
storyline, or what you see on
like cocaine and everything. That's not us.
Yeah.
There's more to us.
There's way more than just like these dirty chefs who, you know, go out every night, or the opposite, these like glorious, like, oh, I won Top Chef and it's amazing, and I'm sure it is, and maybe one day we'll have a guest.
I have my own farm and avocados that I bring with me everywhere. Nah.
But that would be great. There's a really cool avocado guy actually that maybe one day we could.
Oh, Oprah Winfrey has an avocado farm.
But we really want to showcase like the entire industry. We want to talk about political views of the industry, the rights, the wrongs, the excitement, the struggles. We want to interview sommeliers, people who had career changes and why they left the industry, or the opposite, why they left their industry and what brought them to ours. Maybe we're going to talk to somebody who's a forager or a pastry chef or a beekeeper.
Or a farmer. Or a server. Or a busser. Like,
maybe a food truck owner.
Me and Nicole are literally the people that, like, feed off of our friends' success stories. And, like, that's why we're here. That is, like, amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we have an amazing story of somebody who opened a restaurant during the pandemic.
Like wow.
Her first day opening the doors was the day everybody else shut.
March 17th.
Yeah.
Like, and we all know that day is, like, is it March 17th? I feel like it is.
I think it's 14th.
14th, whatever. I know it's in the teens of March, and that was just, like, doomsday.
It's doomsday, but we want to, like... talk to people who know a lot about tea. We want to talk about women in the industry.
And then we could go into other topics like salt. I really want to do an episode on salt.
Mustard,
which is coming soon.
Maybe potato, rice. There's so many things
potatoes, if you know me.
There's so much to learn and to talk about, and Dahlia's favorite food is potatoes, so
just letting you guys
she's
know.
The potato queen. And I'm the kind of person that if I don't know something, I just ask a million questions until I know about it, because I like to share information, and I just need to know. I'm working with somebody who doesn't know much about spices. I'm like, what do you mean you've never heard of this spice? And it's just not that many people do.
Nicole's also, like, very weirdly smart when it comes to those things. And with me, I, like, love learning when she's teaching me. And we'll get to the story on how we met and why we actually liked each other.
Not at first.
Not at first. But anyway.
So, Dahlia.
Oh, we're bringing it to me now.
Yeah, it's going to be all about you today.
All about me. Shocker.
So, where are you from? And I know you don't like two-part questions.
I hate two-part questions.
I know, but where are you from, and, like, why are you cooking? Why are you a chef? Why do you want to be a chef?
What's cooking? Good looking?
Yeah.
Hey. Anyway, I'm from Jersey. My parents are both not from America. My dad's from Egypt and my mother's from Portugal. And the reason why I started cooking was I was sort of, like, pushed into it. Like, my dad sort of was like, this is your niche at 8th grade, even though I didn't cook. Like, 8th grade, he was like, you should go to cooking school, because I think it was his dream. So that's why I did it.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was, like, sort of, and I was on the wait list too for high school.
That's interesting, because I feel like my parents were like, you're going to have to work all holidays and you're never going to have any time with your family. They didn't encourage it.
They really didn't care if me and my sister, like, ended up being artists, because, like, those are the happier ones. Not all the time, but, like, we weren't going to be doctors. Like, like, no way, Jose. School, I only went to school because I knew how to do homework and projects. Tests? No, that wasn't me.
Yeah, all through school I had really poor grades, but then once I started culinary school, I had straight A's. It's like, oh, this is it.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, that's where I came from. And then I went to school, high school and college for it. And I told myself, never move to New York City. Don't do it. Like, that's not where you want to be. Because I would only come here to go see the tree, or, like, that's it, honestly. I never came to New York City. It was not my vibe. I wanted to be at the beach. And my grandparents live in Portugal. So that's actually where I spent my vacations. Like, I wasn't spending my money in New York. And I said, no New York, no Michelin star. I'm not wasting my time on food in a Michelin star restaurant. Well, I ended up getting a stage at Danielle. And I was just like, I'm just going to go. I had 4 stages that week. I was exhausted. But I was like, let me just go to Danielle. I was mind blown. I was like, whoa. Like, no one here speaks English. Like, the food looks amazing. It was my first time ever even, like, thinking of, when I was younger, I thought about Michelin star restaurants, but it was never a thing. Like, my parents, no. We never ate out. That's why I got into cooking, because no one ate out. And they still talk about no one eating out. And I'm like, no, people eat out. Like, it's a thing.
Wait, your parents, they're like...
Yeah, they think people, like, don't eat out that much. And
wow.
I'm like, no, like, I don't think you understand. Like, there's families that eat 7 times a day, 7 times a week out.
Of course.
Breakfast,
because people
lunch, and
just
dinner.
don't know how to cook.
Well, even cooks don't know how to cook, like at home.
I know some of those people.
We know a lot of the people, and I think if you're not in our culinary industry, welcome to chefs that don't cook. They don't cook at home.
But that's not true because I cook at home.
And me too. But that's because me and Nicole care about health and wellness.
Yeah, for us, it's not just about like, oh, when I'm home, I'm not exactly making a 5-star meal. But
no, hell no.
I care
Trader
about
Joe's,
what I eat.
Frozen food.
Do you?
Sponsor us! I love Trader Joe's. But the crazy part is when I order takeout or even Trader Joe's, I add kale. I add an egg. Like, I add things to it. I grate some garlic, put some cheese in it because I know it needs something. Like, yeah, it's good, but it needs my touch.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I order out. Like, I ordered tacos today, but...
Where'd you order them from?
Tacombi?
I don't like them that much. No offense to Combi.
You know, somebody else said that, but I really like Tacombi.
So I never had their food. I had their horchata. And if the horchata ain't good, then I ain't eating there.
Well, you know, their tortillas are really good. They make them. And actually, they sell, like, tortilla to a lot of different people. But I got to say, ordering it out, because I had it delivered, it wasn't as good. But when you eat it there, it's really good. I love it.
So I had to go to a jewelry store the other day. And I passed by Los Tacos Numero Uno. I had to. Like, I love their tacos. Everyone says New York doesn't have good tacos. I get it. I've been to California. I get it. But Los Tacos Numero Uno, they're bomb.
Yeah, but have you been drunk on the streets of LA eating tacos?
I know, they're 10 times better.
Oh,
and
so
like,
good.
then we'll bring it down to Mexico. I'm pretty sure it's like the top notch. But like, Los Tacos Numero Uno are good. Like, have you ever had it?
No, I haven't.
Wait, what?
No, I haven't.
We're going after.
Okay, we'll get that. Well, I had tacos for lunch, so maybe we're going to do that, like, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, what do you, like, obviously you started cooking because of your dad and because, like, but what are you doing now?
I'm chilling. I'm just kidding. Well, I am doing a lot, actually. It's weird that I am saying that because I don't have a full-time job, but this podcast has literally been like our part-time job. Like, we've been doing it like 20 hours a week. I feel like we've been doing I've been doing it 20 hours a week. You've been doing like 16.
Yeah, because I'm working
She's working a full-time job. So like, I get it, but I'm also doing a bunch of just catering gigs. So I don't have a full-time job. Probably have like 6 out the door right now. Like, there's a line, guys. There's a line for Dahlia to work full-time for them, but I will not accept any.
You're not ready. You need time. I get it.
No, I don't think it's time. I think it's like I need a wow factor, and there's no wow factor in any of them. Is that crazy?
No, but it's interesting. Like, had it been before the pandemic,
Before I was
you probably
semi-picky too.
Yeah.
I only was at my last job.
Okay, but what's
for
your
a
dream
year.
job? What is the wow factor you're looking for? What's an example of a wow
Martha
factor?
Stewart.
If Martha Stewart called you and was like, Dahlia, I'm
be
talking
me?
like Martha Stewart. Dahlia, would you like to come work for me?
No, I want to
and
be
ride
the next
horses
Martha
with
Stewart.
me?
Like, I want to be like the next one. But like, so what's crazy is there's a lot of celebrity chefs out there. I get it. I know there's a lot of them, and you guys have great personalities and whatever. But where's the young girl at?
But you know, the way you can get that way is working for Martha Stewart, and then you learn all her secrets.
Yeah.
And then she promotes you in her like Snoop Dogg videos.
Honestly, like, that's what I don't know exactly what I want, like, full time. Don't know exactly what I want. I want this podcast to be successful. I do want to do a TV show. Like, I'm all about that. And when I was younger, somebody told me I could be the next Rachel Ray, and I was actually mad about it because I'm like, no, I'm the next Dahlia.
It's so funny. One time, Chef and I worked, I mean, obviously under Chef, not obviously because my visitors or guests don't know.
Your visitors,
but
they're here.
Working very closely with Chef Danielle, and at one point, I don't remember what it was. It was over carrots, and he was like, "You will never work for Martha Stewart," and I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to work for Martha Stewart, Chef. I work for you." And he was like, "Oh yeah, you're right." And it was funny because he was just frustrated at the producer because like the producer was
not giving you the best carrots.
No, it was over carrots. Did I already say that, or did you?
Yeah,
already know?
you already
Okay,
said
sorry.
it was over carrots.
No, but he was frustrated with the producer and the way they were handling things, so he needed to yell at someone, and it just so happened the carrots I gave him were just like not perfect. And so he just was like, I have to yell at someone. And so he yelled like crazy about the carrots. And it was kind of funny because I knew that it wasn't necessarily towards me. But it was very funny.
I had to run 7 blocks the other day to get perfect carrots.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a thing. Like,
I looked at the carrots and I'm like, do you need me to run out and get some? Because these are not the ones. Yep. Go.
Where were you working that said this?
I was doing a catering gig, but I was like helping a chef, so it wasn't my thing.
Was this with Ajish?
Yeah, this was with Ajish.
He's gonna be a guest one day.
Yeah, for sure. Totally great dude. And he calls me dude, so it's perfect.
Yeah.
But like we both looked at the carrots and we're like, nah, we can't, because it was a vegetarian dish. It was a vegetarian. I think it was a 3rd course. I don't think it was the main course. So like it had to be semi-perfect on the plate. And these were all like squiggly lines. They were carrots.
Like they weren't hard anymore. They were like kind of...
No, they were squiggly. Like they were like... They were twirling into each other. Remember? Me and Nicole used to hand each other like twirled together carrots. We're going to post it on our Instagram.
Or the ones that look like legs walking.
Yeah, or little dinglings. We'll definitely post that on our Instagram. But anyway, we're going to go totally into Nicole now because enough about Dahlia, even though famous one day. Anyway, Nicole, how did you start cooking?
So I started cooking when I was 15. I got a job in a restaurant.
And how old are you now, just so we can embarrass you?
28? I don't know. I'm like, am I 27? No, I'm 28.
I thought you were 29.
No, I'm not 29 yet. Not yet.
Sorry.
But I started cooking when I was 15. I got a job as a hostess, and my best friend at the time, her sister was working at this restaurant. I told her I needed a job, and she was like, okay, fine. So I got a job and as a hostess. And then I saw a young person in the kitchen, and I was like, wow, she doesn't look that much older than me. That means I can work in the kitchen too. And the chef was like, so have you ever cooked before? And I'm like, well, yeah, I cook at home. And he was like, that's not the same. And I'm like, well, I know it's not the same, but I'm just letting you know, like, I do cook at home.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. But as a 15-year-old, it's not like I had a job before then.
It's not like you knew what cooking was.
Having child labor. I mean, I was once I started, but so I got a job, and he was like, okay, if you want to work in the back of house, it's fine. I started working when I was 15, and I started working part-time on the weekends. And then once I was a senior in high school, you do like co-op. So you do half of the day you go to school so that you can work full-time.
Yeah.
So as a high school student, I was working full-time.
40 hours a week.
Yes.
Maybe even more.
More. At 40 hours a week, my boss would make me clock out and then pay me cash under the table so I could keep working. At least he was
paying you, though.
Yeah.
Because I know people that don't.
No, it's true. And so it's really interesting, like, as a 15, people were like, wow, I would never let my kids work when they're that young. And I'm like, well, I needed to. Like, my mom, I guess she didn't really like to cook. She was a terrible cook. Not a terrible cook. She just didn't care. She ran a daycare in our house all day. So she just didn't want to, when she was off, she was off. She was like cooking hot dogs and mac and cheese. She wasn't exactly putting more energy into feeding us. And I always went to these.
Which is literally the opposite of how I grew up.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So crazy. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, my parents had to make it.
My dad always made us breakfast growing up, even during the week. Like pancakes,
nice.
Whatever we wanted, even during the week.
Wow.
But my mom, and on the weekends, like even more like crazy breakfast. But other than that, no, we didn't really. My mom, now she's learning.
Did you pack your lunch or did you buy it?
Oh, I bought it.
Ew, you ate that shit?
Yeah, I had. I mean, once I got into high school, I started eating just like baby carrots and potato chips because I hated lunch so much. But before then, yeah.
I would always get a turkey sandwich.
No.
Always.
But after I got that job, I left. I didn't go to culinary school right away. I actually thought that I wanted to be a botanist. So I started going to community college and taking botany classes.
And if you knew Nicole, you would not be surprised, but you were surprised a little bit.
No, and I wanted to focus on ethnobotany, so that's food relation to plants.
Okay.
Which then I realized I'm not very good at school, and I don't love school.
And it's a lot of, like, science.
It's a lot of science. I was taking the classes, but I just realized, like, why, what am I doing? Like, I was teaching classes. I was doing a little, even young, like 18, 19, a little bit of private chef, teaching a woman classes, working at a catering company. And I was like, this is crazy. And so I stopped. I started working for the catering company full time. And I started going to culinary school. And then I was working full time again and a full time student, working crazy hours. But
well, I think in college, if you go to school for culinary, they make you work. Like, the school tells you to go to work.
yeah, and
I don't know if your school did, but my school definitely 100%. They're like, you have to work. Like, you're not going to learn in school. I'm sorry.
well, my school, I mean, I got my degree from community college, so the great thing is like you make
work.
your own schedule. You can work. It's not like a school, like I can make my own schedule and change it. It ended up that I was driving 3 hours a day because it was an hour to DC, an hour to Glen Burnie, if anyone who's listening knows what that is, and then an hour back to Southern Maryland. Like, it was a lot
Where
of
you're
driving
from.
where I'm from.
Yeah.
But I still did it, and here I am now.
Now we are located right now in Manhattan. I'm not going to tell you where.
We're in Brooklyn.
We're in Brooklyn. I say Manhattan. I don't know why. Because we're not. I lived in Manhattan for 4 years. So now I live at home, guys, if anyone was wondering. I live with my parents. And they don't seem to care for some reason.
Temporarily, until you figure out your next step.
Yeah, next step. Woo. So, I want to ask you, though.
Yeah.
What is your dream job? Because you didn't, you talked about what you wanted to do to a degree, but like not your actual dream job. You talked about you being a botanist.
So I found, and actually it's interesting because I left my dream job.
So what is so talk about that, and then I want to talk about like what is now, like physically right now, what is your dream job?
Okay, so I thought my dream job is what I had. At Restaurant Danielle, I was the culinary manager. I was keeping track of all the recipes. I was doing private events. I was traveling the entire world. We went to
everywhere.
We went to France, Singapore.
Nicole was in Miami once a month.
Miami all the time. All the restaurants we had, I would go to the restaurants. I would go to California, all different kinds of places, very often, traveling maybe twice a month, at least. And it was great, and I loved it. But after COVID, I learned, like, okay, there is a little more to life, and I left because of that. I left because I was giving my entire life to work, and I loved my job, and I was completely obsessed with it, and I never turned my brain off from it. But through COVID, and always I've known my dream job, my goal in life is to own a bed and breakfast.
Oh, cute.
That's also an event space, so I can do private events.
Nice,
I still get all of that. I'm debating on if I want to take care of the catering in-house or have caterers come inside. But also do
Do you trust caterers coming inside though?
Well, it depends. I have to see the space that we get. You know?
Yeah, but there are some caterers that come and destroy a location, and you know that.
That's true, but I want it to be catering, or I want it to be a event space where I do small events in-house, and I'm okay to do small events in-house.
Yeah, but you don't want to do the big ones.
But I don't necessarily need to do the big ones depending on where I am. Because I've done all the big ones. I've done 1,000 people, like...
This is so interesting, because, like, I heard the bed and breakfast before from Nicole, but, like, not now. Like, I didn't think that was still your dream.
Yeah, it's my dream. And we want to have a cocktail bar, and we want to do, like, retreats for people where
Retreats are great. I could definitely be your yoga instructor.
Yeah, I want to have, like, a big thing where it's... Every day is different. We want to have, like, obviously an herb garden and maybe some animals. You can do some goat yoga. We want to do special dinners. It does sound like
a lot of work, though.
Yeah, we want to do special dinners, like themed dinners, kind of like supper club.
Love a themed dinner. I'm always about themes.
Yeah, but I don't want to be like a wedding caterer anymore. I've done a lot of that, and I'm happy to have a space for beautiful weddings, but I don't necessarily want to be a wedding caterer.
I think what's fun about catering now that it has grown for it not to be a wedding. Me and Nicole we worked at Danielle, but we worked in the catering department, and we'll go into how we met. But me and Nicole are very involved in the catering world. Like, we're stuck. She's not in a job right now where she's stuck in catering, but like I'm stuck in it.
But I love it. I like a creative challenge.
That's why we got along.
Like a creative challenge is something that some people love to be in the same place all the time, but I love a creative challenge. I like doing something different every day. We've seen like the most amazing places in New York City that you would have otherwise never been.
The Hamptons.
I mean, the houses in the Hamptons, the houses
even in
everywhere.
Connecticut, Bedford, New York. Like me and Nicole have seen money
you can't ever imagine.
Yeah, like there's like sometimes where like I look up net worths and I'm like, I should not know this number.
My stage at Danielle, like, as people, if you don't know what a stage is basically you come and you work for free for a day or two or whatever.
Some people pay you.
Some people now, I think you have to be paid.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I don't know. I was at Danielle for 5 years, so a lot of things have changed in 5 years.
That's true. A lot has changed.
I think for 2 days it's okay, but after 2 days for a stage you have to pay them. I don't know what the laws are.
Okay.
But my stage, I actually came to the city to stay with a good friend, Kristen, who is actually that person I told you. Oh, there's a young person in the kitchen. I can work when I was young.
How young was she?
She's a couple years older than me, but I still was like, oh, if a young girl
so
can.
she was 17 or something.
She was probably 18.
Oh, okay.
She's like a couple years older. But I came and stayed with her, and I did the stage. I had no plans on moving to New York City. And I was at this catering company. I was basically doing a lot. The boss had just had a child, and so he was kind of like a little absent, and I was doing everything. I was doing the ordering, managing the staff. I was doing everything you could imagine except, running the events, everything. And so I wasn't really sure. I had just gotten back from Italy. But I was like, okay, fine, I'll go. And so I went and I did this stage. I did this event, and we're working with black truffles. There were summer truffles, but I didn't know the difference then. Like,
yeah, you don't.
It was like
you don't know the difference until you know.
No, but it was like amazing.
Summer truffles suck.
This cheese buffet that was like these cheese wheels. I'm like, this is for 12 people, and this is more cheese than I've ever seen in my life. And I'm just like, I don't understand. It's all going to be wasted. And my chef is like, don't worry about that. And then meanwhile, the client, the nicest guy, he gave me a bottle of wine. He's like, I can't drink this. You're going to enjoy it more than any of my guests ever would. And I'm like, okay, great. And then he just starts handing me money. And I'm like putting it in my pocket. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? And then we're cooking. We put out another course. He's like, thank you so much. That course was great. And then he comes and hands me more money. And then we put out the final piece of the buffet, or like the dessert buffet or whatever. And he hands me a check. And I'm just like, what in the world is happening?
Mind you guys, this doesn't always happen.
Mind you, I had no idea. This doesn't always happen, but I'm like, oh my God. So I go into the bathroom and I'm like, what in the world?
I'm surprised the chef accepted for you to go, because I'm pretty sure there was other people on the catering team.
No, because the chef didn't need 2 people. It was a 1-person event. It was a 12-person buffet.
When I went, it was a 12-person buffet too.
Yeah, well,
but they wanted. Well, it's a long story. I'm not gonna get into that one. But like they wanted somebody, and it was obviously me. But the chef wanted to come.
But it was a Sunday that I did this, and nobody works on Sundays. But I didn't know this. They were like, "Do you want to work on Sunday?"
To make you stage.
And I was like, "Yeah, I came here for the weekend." And so I think they just were like, "Well, she's here for a Sunday, fine." And so I get in the bathroom and I look in my pocket. It's $1,400 that he gave me. In one night. And he sent me home with 2 bottles of wine, like a 1989 Vega Sicilia, which is, I don't know, upwards of $1,800 probably.
Crazy.
Plus another wine I drank it.
Which we drank.
Yeah.
One of them we drank.
We drank the Vega Sicilia.
Crazy.
But that was the second time I went there. He still gave me the same amount. It's crazy. And so I get back to Restaurant Danielle, and the chef is like, they had a banquet that day, so he was technically there.
Oh,
and
okay.
he's like, this client, he's really nice. And I'm like, yeah, he's really nice. He's like, okay, well, do you want a job? And I'm like, yeah, I want a job. He's like, okay, well, not every event's like this. And I'm like, well, even if one is like this, I'm happy.
Yeah. And
so I got out of work and I called Thomas, and I was just like, so I told him, and he's just like, so
Who's
are we?
Thomas, you have to.
Oh, Thomas is our ghost host.
He's our ghost host. Shout out to ghost host.
And he's my fiance.
Like a big burger.
And so, Thomas is just like, so are we?
He's Nicole's fiance, not mine.
Yeah. And he's like, so, are we moving to New York? And I'm like, yeah. And the rest is history.
5 years now.
Yeah, 6 almost.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
6, yeah.
6 years.
It's crazy. So here I am. I was there. I left.
So Nicole was there, and then 6 months in, I came in. Or do you want to talk about your job now?
No. We can talk about you. It's your turn.
No.
I talked enough.
Also, Nicole signed an NDA for work, so she's not allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to talk about my current job.
But that's okay.
So I can't.
We're talking about our experiences.
But I'm really looking forward to sharing my new job with everyone when I'm able to talk about it. But currently, I'm not.
Which I'm totally about.
Yeah.
I love secrets.
But it is a research and development position, and I'm recipe testing all day. I just can't tell you for who.
She's so excited. But anyway, so 6 months into working at Danielle, Nicholas met Dahlia.
Dahlia calls me Nicholas.
I don't know why, but I do. She met me. And it wasn't all butterflies and rainbows, was it?
No. I was like, why does this girl cry when she gets yelled at? Because I'm not a crier.
Well, also, I was getting yelled at.
Well, yeah.
No one liked me. I was being hazed like crazy.
Yeah, but that's like, unfortunately the way it goes. Like
so the first 6 months. 6 months was the most brutal 6 months, and Nicole hit her 6 months, so she's in. She's in the club. Everyone likes her. It's the redhead of the kitchen. They love her. It's Nicole. She speaks a little French. She throws little curse words at you. Everyone loves her. And then it's me. Just graduated straight from college. And I didn't sleep for 3 weeks starting that job. And for 6 more months, I didn't even sleep because I was just getting tortured. And it wasn't like I was getting tortured by the chefs. It was the coworkers. Like, no one was nice for some reason.
Was I mean?
Yeah, you were mean.
But why? I don't know why.
No, you were mean.
I was stressed, and I didn't have time to have patience.
And mind you, like, the only person she has on her team is Dahlia. So it's like, all right, you don't want to have patience for me? That's great. But, like, and then we had a really bad sous chef. And even Nicole didn't like him, but like,
oh my gosh,
I didn't understand it, but I had to follow it because I'm a person of respect with authority. For some reason, I just didn't understand authority there.
Okay, so can you explain to the listeners why our sous chef was bad?
Okay, so one, our sous chef was bad because Nicole thinks that she deserved the position, even though she was only there for 6 months. Dropping the ball on you now.
Yeah, but
okay. Anyway, he wasn't good. He didn't show up a lot. Like, he was at an event, but he wasn't doing the work. He really wasn't doing the work. Like, it was very bad. He yelled at me and Nicole once because we didn't know how to make a sandwich. But, like, I don't know.
Oh, no. He wanted to put a pan sapri, which if you guys don't know what it is, it's a surprise sandwich.
Don't ever know what that is.
Yeah, they're terrible to do. But he wanted to put a pan sapri. Basically, it's like
surprise sandwich.
Surprise sandwich. And it's like this round piece of bread that you cut out, you pull out, you make sandwiches, you put it back in.
So it's just like a dome of sandwiches.
And you don't know what sandwich you're taking. So it's a nightmare. But he wanted to make those ahead of time and put it in the freezer with lettuce. Like, who puts lettuce in the freezer? Nobody.
And, like, we refused to put it. I remember we, like, didn't want to do
like,
all the stuff. And it was weird. It was and we just talked about it because this is, like, the anniversary of, like, 4 years. Where I show up to a Sunday event, Easter Sunday, and the guy doesn't show up. And I'm just like 3 months in. I have no idea how to run an event. I don't know anything. I can't even look at the list and tell you what lamb jus looks like. Like, I was dumb. And I was just like, I just pulled out everything that was labeled for the event because the guy didn't show up. Like, an hour.
And she called me frantically.
I called Nicole. Nicole was like, calm down. We'll figure it out.
Unfortunately, I was driving to DC at that time. I was already like 30 minutes away from DC.
The chef couldn't come because I think he was actually doing something, like the actual chef. And I was like, what? And I just hear a French accent behind me. And I'm like, who's that? And I turn around. Danielle lives in Danielle.
He lives upstairs.
He lives upstairs. So I heard him. He saw the truck. He saw me like just calling people. So I had an event with him. It was a nice Easter Sunday. He was like, yeah, I'll go with you. It was a night, and honestly, it was great. I had no idea I didn't think about the moment. And everyone saw pictures after and were like so jealous of it. And I thought it was like the craziest story ever because I'm like, my sous chef didn't show up. Like, I'm mad. Like, I'm not excited right now that I'm
He
working.
called out, apparently he sent an email because he was sick, but he came back with the suntan. So, like, obviously he wasn't that sick if he could come back with a...
And hungover, right?
Yeah, he was not sick. He had a girlfriend in Florida and he wanted to go see her for the weekend.
I don't know. But, like, that's how it was. And I think that summer, me and you were driving to the Hamptons. And, like, that's when you were like, okay, this girl's not so bad. But I actually remember the event. I'm just letting you know. When you keep telling the story to everyone, I actually remember the event. And it's because me and you worked our asses off, and I worked another event on top of that. I went to a solo event, and then I met up with you to help you with your event.
Yeah, and I think what I liked about you is that we didn't need to talk.
Oh, yeah.
We just had to look at each other, and we knew what needed to be done, and I could hand you something, and you already knew, and it was just like we just really worked well together.
And that was gross. I have never worked with somebody before where we don't have to speak.
No, we don't.
Like, me and Nicole, and I think till this day we still don't have to. Like,
no.
I get mad at her for not getting shit done with the podcast sometimes. But I know that she has shit to do, so I'm okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you think we would enjoy our time together more outside of work or inside of work? Like, what do you think? Because right now we're honestly working. Like,
we are working. I think we enjoy our time outside of work a little more because we have no...
Oh, yeah? I feel like we talk about work, though,
yeah,
when we are
I think
together.
It doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
for us, it's the same. We just enjoy each other's company.
Me and Nicole are emotionally dating.
Yeah, we
kidding.
are. You're definitely the woman, and I'm definitely the man.
Really?
You think the opposite?
Oh, I don't think any of that. I didn't even think about that.
Okay, so, question.
Okay, ask me away.
Who would be your dream podcast guest?
Crazy. I'm going to be
Dream.
brutally honest. Okay, well, can I say two? Oh, I really would want two. Okay.
Yeah, you can say whoever you want.
Because me and Nicole talked about this, and then she brought up somebody dead or alive. And
like, does it have to be a living person? Or can it be a person
and honestly,
of the
I'm
past?
thinking of two people. One that I really want to speak about, and I think we should totally have just an episode on him, and that's Anthony Bourdain.
I like could have guessed. That's what your answer would be.
So like I know I went back and said Martha Stewart, but like I would love to be the next Anthony Bourdain, and I think it's just cool. There's so many chefs that like just go and eat at different restaurants and are like just so worldly, and he was so great. Like, he literally showed the generation, like, there's way more than just an American cuisine or a Chinese cuisine. Like, you know, he went into the countries, and he went deep into countries. He didn't just say, like, oh, this is Egypt. Like, he actually went in. And it was funny, like, the Egypt episode that he did, it was just so real about Egypt. Like, he tried to cross the street, and it was, like, one of those games where, like, you have to figure out if you're going to get ran over.
Like Frogger? Like,
yeah, exactly like Frogger. And he did it. Like, he showed it. And I'm like, oh, that is Egypt. Like, that's Egypt.
Crazy.
And he shows the true country. Obviously, I know for sure there was some countries where he didn't show all of it. It's hard. You can't just do it. It's hard to edit one culture into an episode when there's so much to it, different holidays and everything. But he did it.
When I went to Thailand, I watched the Anthony Bourdain episode before going and was like, I want to see what he ate just so I can, like, I might not go to the same city, but at least I can understand, like, what is something I should not miss.
But that's what I loved about him, because he went to certain parts of the cities where, like, you won't get in other parts.
Yeah.
Like, he was very involved. And then I want to go to my other... I honestly want to hang out with David Chang.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I think he's super chill. I think
if anybody, David Chang would say yes. Like, he would say yes to anything.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I really like about him. He's also an alum of Danielle, which is, like, mind blown because I only found out after I left.
But I think he didn't work there for that long.
Doesn't matter. He was still there.
No, was it a Danielle, or I think it was Cafe Boulud?
No, it was Danielle.
I don't know.
Well, interviews say Danielle, so, like, that's what I thought. So it's just crazy that, like, he came from a place where, like, me and you, I guess, graduated from, and then created an empire, and now he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna, like, sell some stuff on, like, supermarkets, and I'm gonna do a podcast, and I'm going to do a
Open
show.
restaurants and
He does great on his shows. His shows have so many views, and he seems so humble and like real about food.
Do you watch his shows? Do you watch TV
I watched
shows?
some of his shows, but remember, so he was on a podcast, Smartless, and he was interviewed, and like I made Nicole listen to it, and you actually enjoyed it.
I loved his podcast. I think it was great, but I think that the TV show,
Which one?
I don't know the name of it.
Okay.
I didn't love it.
So
But also, I fall asleep when I watch anything, so it's not really.
I don't
his
love
fault.
too much food storylines anymore. I'm not a huge fan of those. I don't know why. Like,
It's like I do it all day. Do I want to also watch it
exactly.
when I get off work or hear it? Not really.
yeah. Like I can't watch too much culinary TV, and I'm sorry for everyone that loves culinary TV.
What's your favorite culinary show? If you had to watch, like, if you had to watch one TV show ever, it can be past or present.
Diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Guy Fieri?
I don't know why.
I was making a joke. My favorite guest would be like, wait, isn't it kind of funny that diners, drive-ins, and dives is kind of like Anthony Bourdain, except
America? I guess so. And I heard like a lot of those restaurants that Guy Fieri has gone to, like actually go broke and like have to close because they have so many like fans afterwards.
That they just like can't keep up with it.
They can't keep up with it.
That's crazy. There's one restaurant in Lake Wales, Florida, where my grandmother loves. But diners, drive-ins, and dives came in once, and they closed.
See,
that's so crazy to think about.
Yeah, no.
Or they sold and then they reopened.
It doesn't even matter. Like it's his show. I don't know. It didn't make. I don't know. That was one show that I don't mind leaving on in the background.
I don't mind it either. It's interesting.
So who's your dream guest? Because I already talked about two of mine.
I feel like my past dream guest would be Julia Child.
Okay.
I think would just be super interesting.
One of the first famous female chefs.
Yeah, and something that I guess nobody really saw coming, you know? I think my current, and I know this is going to sound super lame.
Oh my God. Well, mine wasn't awesome. You were shocked. I don't know yours right now. Can I guess?
You can guess.
Is it Martha Stewart?
No.
It's not Martha Stewart? What? Okay, go. I can't guess.
I think it's like, maybe I'm going to say it sounds super lame, but I almost think
Lame.
Danielle would be my guest.
Wow.
Because he's somebody.
That's your dream guest.
Somebody I worked for a very long time, and I think if I felt comfortable enough with this podcast to share it with him and to bring him here to my home for this, like
literally in her home.
I think, and if he had time, he's one of the busiest people I know.
Literally, he's very busy.
And I know because I was obviously there for all of it, but I think that would be like,
wow.
If I felt comfortable enough and I felt so excited to share this with him, he's like one of my biggest mentors, that I think it would be.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why I said lame, because it's probably not anybody you would have guessed.
No, I would have never guessed that. Even though I think I didn't take it into an advantage for working side by side with him with the events that I did with him. I don't know why. And I just said it before. Like, I was just too caught up in the moment. And you're always caught up in the moment. And you don't, like, step back and you're like, wow, like, I'm here. Like, I'm here with these amazing chefs. Like, I'm doing these crazy events with chefs from all over the world. And they're just the coolest people. They're honestly, like that one event. Oh my God, I'm going to butcher the name, so you're going to have to say it.
La Fête du Champagne?
Yeah. Ugh.
Or La Palais?
Just the chefs that were there were so cool. They brought the coolest teams with them. And like, you could hang out with them afterwards.
So much to learn from them.
Yeah, like, and they work so differently. So like, they would come in and they'd just question how we worked. But like, then I would see the way they worked. Like what's the one guy's team that was just so chill and relaxed? Oh my God. Like,
Yeah, like the chefs from Maison Trois Gros in France, I love them. Like Cesar,
I made fun.
Leo.
Yeah, Chef Cesar. I made fun of his accent like an asshole, like I am. And then he was like, "Well, I don't see you trying to speak French." And I was like, "You know what? You're right." Like, and he went like it was just a funny joke that he did while we were in the middle of plating, and I was just like, "You know what? Like, I like you." Like,
Yeah, they're
I
super
like
cool.
people
Those
that put me in my place in a funny way.
Yeah, and they're such professionals.
Yeah.
Like I've worked countless events with them. I've traveled, like we've done events in California, we've done events in like cooked with them, or I went to their restaurant when I went to the Bocuse d'Or in France, and their restaurant is it's not Lyon, it's outside of Lyon. It's like an hour and a half drive, I think. We got a car to go there, but I don't remember the city. But so amazing. Like everything is super precise and precision. It doesn't need anything. Absolutely perfect and beautiful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But anyways, maybe one day I'll have him as a guest.
That would be so much fun.
He would love it. But I think that would be my dream guest, because that would mean that I don't know. He's such a social person that if he could make time for that, it would be great. One day when we have all of our kinks out of the. Anyways,
do you want to tell our fans or our listeners? I'm sorry, I don't know which one you are yet. You haven't finished the first episode yet. But what do you think this podcast is going to become?
I think this podcast is going to be like it's where we create a space for people to talk openly about their jobs, good and bad.
Yeah. Why we chose this crazy passion.
Why we
are going down
somehow gave up all of the holidays ever created
or
for
not
our life. Yeah, but I mean, if you're in the restaurant industry, you've given up a holiday at least once. Yeah. At least once. I've woken up on for the listeners. Dahlia is not. She doesn't celebrate Christmas 100% quite like most people, which is not most people. There's a
lot of people that don't do that. But anyway.
But I have woken up on Christmas morning 3 Christmases in a row at Dahlia's house because I had to work Christmas Day.
With my stinky breath in the morning. And we have to and no one's out in New York City.
No, it's
like you 6 o'clock in the morning in Manhattan at 6-ish, 7-ish.
You can walk down the street from 88th Street to 65th Street, middle of the road, and not see a single car.
No, and it's crazy. Also, every Sunday morning.
That's true.
It's so insane. I used to walk to work, so I had no problem.
It's crazy. But yeah, what do you think this podcast is going to be?
I think it's going to be a ball of fun.
Yeah. I think a lot of the people we're starting with, they're our friends. They're people that we're comfortable with.
Yeah, we're super comfortable with everyone that's following us. We also have a great support system. So I think this podcast is going to become what the listeners actually want it to become, because we're here to listen to you guys too.
Yeah.
So email us, Google us, Instagram us, YouTube us.
I do want to give a shout out to Alex Katz for making our jingle.
Woo-woo.
He put a lot of work into it, and I really hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Catsy. You guys, if you need a jingle, let me know. We can connect you with him. But other than that, I think we will see you next week.
Do you want to go into our segment? Nicole loves to rush things. She really likes to rush things. So each episode of Quiche My Ass, we really want to do a taste test of something that one of us has brought or a guest, and taste the ish out of it and talk about it. And we really want to get involved with food in this podcast too.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Am I closing my eyes?
I can't believe I just was like, we're done.
Yeah, I'm not shocked though.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, ready. Nicole needs to fill up her glass of wine. That's why she's like, we're done. I'm done. I have a drop left. Our wine with ice cubes in it.
Ready? Here you go.
Are you putting it in my hand?
Oh, do you want me to just put it in your mouth?
I don't know.
What do you think it is? Feel it.
A cotton candy grape? Is it? There's
no,
dirt.
but I thought about a cotton candy. I washed them.
That one tasted stale.
Okay. You can open your eyes. Taste another one.
What are these?
They're kiwi berries.
I was gonna say these look like kiwis. I hate kiwi.
Do you really?
Kiwi berries. We're definitely going to have to put this on our Instagram so you guys know what it looks like.
If you had to guess, would you think...
I don't know why I'm eating it.
You don't like kiwis?
I do not like kiwis. My grandpa has like 4 kiwi trees and I do not like them.
If you had to guess, do you think this is a hybrid, its own plant, or part of the kiwi tree?
I want to say its own plant.
Wow, you got it right.
Yeah, because it doesn't look like a hybrid. And I know that's so stupid because like there's so many things that we eat every day that are hybrids. Do you want to explain to people what hybrids mean, the people that don't know?
A hybrid means something that's like a crossbreed of two different...
I'm not eating another one. Give me a stiff one.
I like the soft ones. So just so everyone knows, and we'll post pictures, but kiwi berries, they're kind of like a little bit bigger than a grape.
I would say the size of a cherry.
Size of a cherry, and they're soft like figs. Like, they're kind of juicy.
I did not expect it to be like that. That's why I thought it was stale, because like...
But they don't have skin like a kiwi. They're smooth.
It's like a grape. What is this called? A kiwi grape?
A kiwi berry.
This looks like a kiwi grape.
It does. It looks like a hybrid between like a kiwi and a grape, but it's not.
Any nutritional value to this shit?
No. I'm sure there is, but I didn't look up the nutritional value.
Me and Nicole are trying to get our summer bods, so that's why we're trying to eat healthy with our munch box.
But these are made, they came from New Zealand. These
I was just going to ask that. Where are they from?
But they're from, like, China and Japan. They grow in the wild.
Mm.
Or Asian countries. But, yeah, here we are, eating kiwi berries. They're beautiful and they're juicy.
Why did you decide to put this for lunchbox?
I thought we wanted to eat healthy, so I chose a fruit.
I like pineapple.
And I was, well, I'm not going to do a fruit everybody knows. I want to do something that's interesting. And you say you don't like it, but you're still eating them.
Yeah, I'm on my third one.
Don't worry, I bought more, so there's more downstairs. So if we want to eat these, it's fine for pictures. But I decided that it was something interesting that people don't know. I am working on a recipe currently at work with kiwi berries. And I saw that this place next to the wine shop had them.
How much is this a pound? Were they expensive? I guess I don't need to ask you how much they were a pound.
I bought 3 packs for $20. So it's like $10 after.
No, it's not.
No, it's like $10.
It's like $7. It's like less than $7.
No, because I don't know. I don't think each one is a pack. I would say each one's like half a pound.
No, I'm not saying a pound. Anyway, we're not going to go into math with Nicole.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm good at some math, but not most. But
anyways, we want to thank you guys so much for listening to our first ever episode of Quiche My Ass. Woo, woo, woo. And join us on Instagram at Quiche My Ass Pod. Quiche My Ass POD. And thank you guys so much.
We'll see you next week.
See ya, or hear you later, or deuces.
Bye.